I am here with Jeremy Allen White, the star of Shameless and the just now out in theaters, The Rental, which is it's in a bunch of theaters, it's on demand, and also exciting to know 250 plus drive-ins, which is perfect for a movie like this. I know we're all in this weird lockdown mode, and a lot of people are probably going to experience it on VOD. But if ever there was a midnight movie get together and kind of experience something with your friends, it's this film. So congrats on this opening.
Hey, thank you so much. Yeah, we're really excited. Thanks for talking to me.
Yeah. So the movie centers on two couples who go to an Airbnb for a getaway, and things kind of take a twisted turn as they realize they're not as secluded as they thought they were. And some secrets come out during this weekend, and a lot of other things happen that I want to try and keep spoiler free. So I wanted to ask, what attracted you to this movie?
Yeah, it was a lot of things. I think first it was just me being kind of a fan of the folks that were involved. I got a cold email from Dave Franco, who I'd never met before, but he just kind of wrote a really nice note saying, hey, I'm a fan, and if you're available, I'd love you to be a part of this thing I'm doing. I saw he wrote it with Joe Swanberg, and I'm a really big fan of his. They already had Allison Brie and Dan Stevens attached, and I was a big fan of theirs. So even without reading the script, my interest was definitely piqued. And then, I don't know, I read the script, and it was never really a goal of mine, not that I was avoiding it, but it wasn't on the list to do like a horror genre sort of movie, but I think that Dave and Joe kind of tapped into something in their writing. It was such a plausible fear, it was like just something that felt very accessible to an audience, the kind of like fear that they were tapping into. And that was really interesting to me. And then, Dave and I spoke a lot, and I think we have similar tastes. We talked a lot about movies, and he was just saying how he really wanted to approach the movie as more of a character study about these relationships. And then, obviously things get a little haywire if you've seen it. Yeah.
Yeah. So tell me about creating the character of Josh. He's the younger brother of the two siblings who go out there with their girlfriends.
Right.
When you were working on this character, how much of it was on the page that Dave and Joe kind of handed to you versus how much of it did you work out with them creatively versus just kind of building the chemistry and finding characters with Allison and Dan and Sheila Vond?
Yeah, I think the majority of it was definitely on the page. Dave was also really generous about like nothing was improvised or anything like that. But if you did have any concerns and maybe like the narrative that you were kind of starting to mess around with in your mind didn't add up with little things here and there in the script, then he wasn't precious about it. We could talk about it and kind of shift things here and there, which was greatly appreciated. But I think the majority of it was there. I really fell for the guy. I fell for Josh. He, to me, was just just a tragic screw up, but he was like also kind of lovable and almost like funny how tragic he became. Even before you meet him, you just know he's had kind of like a sordid and sad past. And then you think, oh man, well now he's with this woman who's so out of his league. She's beautiful, she's so smart and accomplished. Maybe he's gonna catch a break and he can like really be with this person. And then that's obviously not the case, and just awful thing after awful thing after awful thing happened. And by the end of it, I found myself at least being like, just take this kid out of his misery. He's not meant for this world. But anyway, I really cared for him. It was easy for me to kind of tap in.
And that's something I was very curious about, because you are so good in this film at playing a kind of a sad sack guy who's past, we don't get the full picture of it, but you realize he's kind of had a tough go and he's really trying to get a shot at redemption.
Yes.
What did you tap into for that? Was there any kind of personal experience were you able to relate to this character, or did you have to go someplace to kind of build him up?
No, I mean, I think it's a pretty easy, everybody wants to be better, no matter how, no matter how great you might think you are. I think it's pretty human to just try and do better, accomplish more, use your time more wisely, whatever it is for the person. So I think it was like easy enough to self-improvement was something that, I could certainly relate to. And then I think another thing that, I wasn't using my own experience. I don't have any older siblings, but something that for some reason really made it easy for me to understand Josh, I think, was the relationship between him and his brother. I saw this kid just like really, really wanting to be accepted by and wanting the approval of his older brother. And you just got the sense that Charlie wasn't interested, that he was always going to kind of be like holding it over his brother's head. And, you kind of get an understanding right off the bat of Charlie's opinion of Josh in that scene early in the movie with Charlie and Michelle. And I think Josh knows that. Like, I don't think that's a secret, the way that Charlie feels about Josh. And I think that that's just like, that's a hard space to exist in your life, and I think that was another thing that I understood. I felt for him.
Here's something that just popped into my head while you were talking about this dynamic, and I might be asking the wrong guy, but I'll just put it out there. Dave Franco has famously an older brother, James, and they've been working together and collaborating. They're both, movie stars. Do you get the feeling that he was trying to work something out in this screenplay, or is it just, it's just a story about brothers?
I think, that is a question for Dave. I would feel uncomfortable answering it. But, we've discussed it in a limited sense, and I think there might be a little bit of that there, sure.
Yeah. Okay. What was it like working with Dave Franco? I mean, this is his transitioning from the role of actor into feature film director. Was he able to bring anything that you kind of remarked on as being special or unique? His perspective, carrying that in, between the two worlds, did that help you? Did you kind of help each other during the filming?
Yeah, I mean, I've been pretty lucky. I've worked with a lot of directors that have been actors. And let me just say first off, Dave is truly one of the kindest, smartest, most focused, just very well prepared and specific directors that I've worked with, which is all great. Aside from him, being an actor and a good actor. But yeah, there is a certain sort of safety, I think, that you find as an actor working with another actor who's directing you, because they've been in your shoes. So if you want to try something really big and fall on your face, or try something so small that it's not read, that if there's an actor directing you, that they're going to take care of you, that they're going to tell you what's going on, that they're not going to use that take of the movie, you would hope, and that they've kind of got your back. And I think that Dave, 100% had that. And there was also a very immediate shorthand, I think, that him and the rest of the cast kind of came up with very, very quickly, which I think is due to the fact that, he just understands, an actor's place on set, and it was just easy to communicate with him.
Do you have any examples of, some of the room that you had to experiment with in making the film?
Are you meaning the highs and lows that I was just kind of speaking on?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think, I think the end of the movie, kind of when Josh is just at his craziest, kind of stomping around the house and really, really freaking out, looking for Charlie. Even before then, and then a couple scenes even with Toby when Josh is getting so physical, and he, you know, I was really cautious. I was like, you know, I understand, you know, Josh has had a violent past, but I do think he's trying to, you know, there's like some redemption in this for him, I think. Do you think I should pull it back a little bit? And Dave was like, no, go 110, like loud, fast, strong, you know, just do it. And I think, you know, you should trust any director, but I think, you know, because of his acting background, I had an extra sort of layer of trust, and I think it worked. I think the rage was appropriate, you know, but I was nervous about it on the day for sure.
You mentioned Toby Huss briefly. He is the guy who's sort of renting out the Airbnb, and again, I don't want to give too much away, but there is sort of a contentious relationship there between him and your group of friends.
Yeah.
In terms of preparing for that, was there, because I've heard in some cases, mostly on like horror movies, the killer stays away from the campers kind of a thing, you know, whether they're filming to create that unease. Was that the case with the rental, or were y'all kind of palling around on set?
It's interesting. Well, Toby wasn't around as much. He was shooting, I believe he was shooting a TV show while I think he was shooting Vice Principals while he was shooting this movie. So he would fly in and out. So first of all, we didn't really have the opportunity to spend too much time with him. But it's interesting. He's such a good actor. And I did get the sense that there's like a little bit of method-y stuff going on. And maybe it's especially because he was just like coming in and out. I think he kind of like stayed in his own world. Like, lovely guy, I'd see him for coffee in the morning, but then he kind of like stayed in his own world a little bit.
Yeah. With the dynamic that the four of you had, the four friends, did that weird you out or at all, or were you just like, okay, he's off doing his own thing, we're going to focus on us? And
oh, no, I don't know that we weren't concerned with his process or anything like that. No.
What has been your experience in this very strange year of lockdowns and, you know, kind of closed sets and things like that, productions being shut down? Yeah. How do you kind of exercise your creative bug? Do you have an outlet for acting during all of this? And do you also have an indication as to when you might be back on a set, say for the next season of Shameless?
Yeah, to your first part of the question, for the first couple months, I didn't, you know, we were just kind of trying to figure out what was going on. And then more recently, you know, when I started acting, I wanted to do theater. You know, I studied theater in high school, and it was kind of what I wanted to do. And I hadn't read a play in a very long time. And so a couple months ago, I just bought a bunch of Sam Shepard's, Ken Flanagan, and just kind of like a bunch of playwrights that I loved when I was in high school, to see if something would get kind of like reinvigorated this like passion for that kind of work. And so that's been really interesting. Not that I've put it up or anything like that, but I think that certainly kind of got the creative juices going and stuff during this time when you can't do much. And then for Shameless, you know, we were about to start. We were all ready to go. I believe it was March 17th was our start date. Obviously, we didn't make it there, but we're hopeful. You know, we're hopeful soon. You know, we want to go back when everybody can be safe, and feel safe. So you know, everybody's taking their time trying to make the environment as safe as possible, pretty much. But I'm hopeful sometime in the early fall.
Cool. Well, my last question isn't so much a question. It's a thank you for having given me one of the best laughs that I've had in a theater, not with the rental, but with movie 43.
Oh man.
Film that gets a lot of crap, but
Yeah.
Homeschool is still one of the best laughs, surreal experiences I've had in a theater. And yes, I did pay to see movie 43 in a theater.
Wow, you're the only one. That's cool. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. You know, I know that movie gets a lot of shit, but you know, I did have fun making that short, pretty much. You know, I had fun with those actors, and you know, so I'm glad you got a kick out of it.
Cool. Well, again, congratulations on The Rental and Shameless and all your success. You're tremendous, and you're a really cool actor to watch. So thank you again for talking with me.
I appreciate you. So nice talking to you, man. Have a good one, all right?
You too. Take care.